welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Shenell Felix. And whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. This morning, I have the privilege of sitting in studio and chatting with one of Tobago's recent champions. That is the Chevening Scholar for Tobago for 2025. We are chatting in studio this morning with Ms. Shanna Thomas. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
But Shanna, this is not your only role. You are also the program director at the Rural Development Unit at the Division of Settlements and Public Utilities and Rural Development. So this morning you are here in the capacity as a scholar. How are you feeling this morning?
It's a very surreal experience. I'm feeling very happy about receiving the award and receiving the scholarship. And it's just been something that I've had to take in bit by bit. So it's been very surreal, to say the least.
Excellent. But we're not just chatting with Shanna this morning. This morning we have the privilege of also being on set and chatting virtually with Andre Blackburn, who is the Political, Press and Public Affairs Officer of the British High Commission, as well as Chinali Patel, who is the Head of Political, Economic and Press. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Lovely to see you again.
Excellent. I really was hoping that I get to see you guys in studio again this morning, but nevertheless, it's excellent to have that chat. But even before we get into this morning's discussions, we want to find out if Shanna heard about the Chevening Scholar from our last interview here on Tobago Updates. How did you hear about the scholarship?
I actually have been following the scholarship for a couple of years, but I also would have met Andre and Chinali in a work function, and I received the brochure from them as well. So I looked at it, and then I was, still contemplating as to whether or not I should apply, and then I just happened to apply this year.
Excellent. And I'm happy to hear that, because last time they were here, we had a really excellent conversation, and they would have expressed their interest in ensuring that more Tobago students participate and apply for the scholarship. Why do you think it's important for Tobagonians, regardless of age, to still be seeking that improvement in self through education?
I think it's important just in terms of being able to give back to the Tobago space, and also to have more input internationally as it relates to the expertise that's out there, so that we could learn and adapt from that information and be able to implement within our Tobago space. And it's not only the technical side, it's also in terms of the networking and the financial capabilities that are outside of the Tobago region. I think those are the opportunities and avenues that we should be able to explore by doing those kind of things.
Right. And tell us a bit about your shift from currently being the director of the Rural Development Units to wanting to kind of shift into urban planning and development. Tell us about that. Because for some persons, they'll be like, but Shanna, you are already the boss. Where are you going again? Tell us.
It's not necessarily a shift. I just think it's more of a career advancement path, because my initial foundation degree was in urban planning. I would have continued with a master's in coastal engineering. So it's just a matter of building more on the theoretical side of things, and also wanting to learn more about applying some of the planning theories and that sort of thing. So it's not necessarily that's a shift, it's more of an advancement.
Excellent. And Andre, good morning to you again. A lot of persons, when they think about scholarships, they think about Chevening scholarships. They think, okay, that's someone who just came out of their undergraduate degree, and they're looking for what's next. But Shanna expressed that she already has a master's in coastal engineering. And Shanna, we know that you are a proud mom and you already manage an entire unit at the division. Andrea, why is it important for persons to understand that there is really no limit to who can be selected to achieve a Chevening scholarship?
That is exactly it. When we were on your show last year, and we hope to come back again in person this year, one of the things that we say is that there's no typical Chevening scholar. What we are looking for are people who have the kind of drive and passion, to influence change and provide solutions and leadership to create a better future. And that is what Shanna is, and all of our scholars this year. They're really all excellent. And yes, and just to say, having a master's degree does not prevent you from applying for a Chevening scholarship, as long as you could clearly explain to us how this second master's degree would help you fulfill your career plan and to change things in your home country. And that is what Shanna successfully did in her interview earlier this year.
Shanna, well, we want to say a special congratulations to you. You have truly inspired us all, because it's not, we know about the Chevening Scholarship. You guys have done a great job in promoting it so persons know that it exists, and we continue to encourage persons to apply. But, even though they see the application, they're just there like, not sure. Should I do it? And I think that you kind of had that a bit as
Yes,
well,
I
because
did.
as you indicated, you followed the page for a while before you actually took that leap. What made the transition from just being an onlooker to saying, okay, maybe this time around I'll try?
Honestly, having been operating in the Tobago space for the last 3 years within the position that I had, I wanted to do more. And I saw the scholarship as an opportunity for that to be done. We are seeing, especially within our Tobago context, we're seeing a lot of limitations with our development, and also in terms of the persons who we have to, who we are charged to assist, especially the vulnerable persons on the lower side of the lower income side. So the scholarship opportunity was one where I saw an opportunity for Tobago to benefit from that. And just being able to not only take from the UK, but also have them experience some of the things from a Caribbean perspective as well. Because as a small island developing state, a lot of things happening to us here, they don't necessarily understand. So it's to have that, bridge that divide as it relates to our developmental issues within the Caribbean context, and also to learn from the international space. What are some of the technical things and the financial things that we could gather from them and come back here to implement in Tobago to better our island and to better the persons living, the quality of life for persons in Tobago.
Excellent. Chinali, good morning to you again. Tell us about when the Chevening Scholarship for 2026 would be open, and when can persons, begin to explore the opportunities, and just give them a bit of an understanding of what is required with that application.
No, thank you so much, and good morning, lovely Tobago. As Andre said, we hope to be soon in Tobago in September, so maybe we'll come to the studios. I think Shanna and Andre kind of, expressed it really well. So the window for this year opened on August 5th. So if you see our social media channels, so we are on UK and Caribbean on X or Twitter, as it was known. We're also on Instagram under the handle of UK in Caribbean. And we also have a Facebook page, which is easily accessible, British High Commission in Trinidad and Tobago. Andre will touch on some of the requirements. What I would like to say is, as Andre and Shanna said, anyone can apply. You have till 7th October to do so, which is brilliant. There is time. And please don't hesitate. I think it's human nature. We all think, are we good enough? Is this going to benefit? But as the scholars this year have reflected in different fields. So just to give you an idea, we have such diverse fields this year, and this is a reflection of what Chevening Scholarship represents. So Shanna, as she said, is going to pursue a master's degree in city planning and real estate development. We have also got Ronald Amon pursuing a master's degree in digital engineering management. And we have Claire Knott pursuing a master's degree in sports and medicine. And for the first time this year, we have a corporate sponsor on board, Proman, who's actually looking to sponsor us for the next 2 years and possibly more in the areas of process engineering, chemical engineering, energy and sustainability. The reason I mention this is master's degree is not confined to what you think it might be confined to. So bear that in mind, that you can, pursue a master's degree that comes and benefits Trinidad and Tobago, but also get this wonderful opportunity to be in the UK for a year. And as Shanna said, it's a wonderful educational bridge between our two countries. And I'll just invite Andre to say what the criteria looks like.
Before we get Andre, can you remind us again of those engineering fields that are currently being targeted again?
Yeah, absolutely. So Proman, who well-known company, in Trinidad and Tobago, has come on board as corporate sponsor, and they're looking at the 4 areas of process engineering, chemical engineering, energy, broadly speaking, energy sector, and sustainability. And we are proud to say we have one scholar already, Sean Melville, going to UK in September, and he's pursuing a master's degree sponsored by Proman in sustainable business, climate change, and green finance. And we've not had this before, so this is brilliant.
Excellent. And Andre, in terms of the criteria?
Yeah, so the eligibility criteria are pretty straightforward. First and foremost, you must be a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And equally important, because Chevening is all about giving back, you must be willing to return to Trinidad and Tobago once you have completed your studies for at least 2 years. Also important is you must have completed all the components of an undergraduate degree. Particularly, we look for people who have at least an upper second class degree, but preferably a first class honors degree. And then you must apply to at least 3 universities in the UK. And the application is online, is pretty straightforward.
Excellent. Shanna, tell us about, what it took for you to be willing to walk away from, your current position and leaving Tobago to pursue this degree.
I don't necessarily think that I'm walking away. Like I said, it's just a need to advance myself, and also there's a need for me to come back and have some sort of impact. And just as I'm reiterating again, it's just from seeing all of the issues that we've had developmental wise in Tobago, and seeing that those needs, they have to be addressed in such a way that we do need some assistance internationally or the expertise. So I don't think it's something where I'm walking away, because I do think I'm gaining a lot from the experience. And I do think that coming back into the space, I'm going to be given the opportunity to do a lot more. So I don't think it's walking away. I just think that, it's just advancement, and I'm coming back to do something that would be
right. And there are the persons that would say, you're doing all of this, but when we look at Tobago's economy and we look at, even the career options that might be a bit limited, you said that there are opportunities for you when you come back. Explain that for us. Is it that you are planning to carve your own path through your own private business that would then assist the Tobago House of Assembly with a number of its planning initiatives? Or do you see places and positions, departments, where what you are studying would fit perfectly with the overall developmental agenda of the THA?
It would be a 2-pronged approach, I believe, because I think that from the professional standpoint, we are going to reestablish the planning unit within the THA space. So there is that opportunity for me to be involved in that aspect. But also, it's not only about the financial, or, that side of it. It's also from the point of being a Tobagonian and wanting to see the space advance. So from the professional standpoint, yes, there's the planning unit, but also from a personal level, and at Tobagonian, I want to see this space advance. So I would want to see from the personal side and giving back as your civic duty to Tobago, that you come back and implement things that are progressive for the space.
Excellent. Andre, we know that even with the application process, there's a number of workshops that take place online that help persons to, go ahead and fill out the application effectively. Can you tell us about what events and activities are coming up that persons can benefit from if they are interested in applying for that Chevening scholarship?
Well, more than events, I would say we have a very active Chevening alumni network. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say that if you are interested in speaking with someone who has been a Chevening scholar, you can reach out to us. We can put you in touch with them. We have over 170 Chevening scholars now in Trinidad and Tobago. Chevening has a long history. Many of them are in positions of influence. I wanted to touch on one other thing that I forgot to mention in the criteria, which is work experience, and I think Shanna is a good example of that. So one of the important aspects to apply is that you must have at least 2 years of work experience, or the equivalent in hours is about 2,800 hours, and we do take into consideration community service, volunteerism, understanding that not everyone after graduating, at the undergrad level will get the opportunity to have two years work experience. I just wanted to mention that.
All right. Tell us a bit about the working experience versus the bachelor's degree. Is it that a person at the base level has to have a first class or upper class degree, or do you also account for the years of service and work that they are doing to make up for the overall assessment?
So yeah, it's a combination of undergraduate studies and work experience, because of course you need to apply to the university in the UK. So it means that you need to show them that you can excel at a postgraduate degree program in the UK, which is very rigorous. So this is why you need to have at least an undergraduate degree. But yes, work experience is equally important and a criteria as well, when it comes to applying for the Chevening Scholarship. It's a very competitive scholarship. This year, globally, we had 90,000 applications, and we've only had globally 1,000 Chevening scholars. So that means that Shanna is actually in our top 1% in the world. So I think that should tell you how competitive the scholarship is.
Excellent. And Chinali, tell us again why it's important for persons to want to be a part of, the Chevening alumni and apply for the scholarship. And even if they may not get the scholarship, why, just going through the overall process helps with personal development.
And it's a really good question. I mean, I've been in Trinidad and Tobago for 2.5 years. And one thing that strikes me is there's immense talent in Trinidad and Tobago. When I'm in Tobago, I see that Shanna and others are a prime example. I think the way the world is evolving, the way things are changing, it's great to see male and female leaders emerging in different fields. And where you get the opportunity where actually you get to pursue a master's degree, take that experience in a different country, like Shanna said, build those skill sets, build those networks, and bring it back to Trinidad and Tobago. I think that's of key value. And the way we are heading, I think education is going to be that really valuable bridge. I sincerely hope anyone listening today can truly think that, yes, please apply. It might be that, this year it might not be possible. Next year would be. We have many alumni that will say to you they've tried multiple times. What we are looking for is someone that truly cares about Trinidad and Tobago and making that difference and having that opportunity to study in the UK. So sincere plea, www.chevening, chevening.org is where you get all the information, and the social media channels are there. And most importantly, we are there for you. So thank you.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you guys so much for coming on and reminding us about, this avenue for persons to advance themselves and their education. Shanna, in closing, you are a mom. How do you balance being a mom, being a career woman and wanting to take this leap that may cause some distance within your family?
It's a very, very tough, tough, tough thing to juggle. And balancing career and mom has been, I think, the hardest thing for me thus far. But when you have a support system like I do, because in Tobago it takes a village to raise a child, and I think you could attest to that as well. My support system has been one that I'm very grateful for. There have been persons who've been rallying behind me throughout this entire process that, I have to acknowledge. My friends, my family, my mom, my godmom, my work colleagues, the whole of Tobago, they've been rallying behind me. So with this, I think that aspect of it is just that it takes a village to raise a child, and I am a
Excellent.
product of that as well.
Excellent. And we want to say again and again, congratulations to you for making Tobago proud and for
Thank you.
flying that Trinidad and Tobago flag at the 1% of, the world and the most excellent performers. And you are a total inspiration to me as well. I interviewed them last year and I have been questioning, should I?
Well, you should know.
Well, I should now,
Yeah.
right? So, guys, we want to thank you again for being here, and we look forward to seeing you when you are on island. Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.